Welcome to G Connect today. On the program today, we are having a distinguished gentleman that just celebrated his 50th birthday on Earth. And somehow I was thinking he celebrated it on the moon, but I was told that he did it here in Abuja. It is our pleasure to introduce to you the indefatigable Deacon, I think he's pastor now, Pastor Osilama, Osilama. Pastor Osilama is a business tycoon that is playing in the real estate industry, and I should say that he has been able to build a conglomerate because he have interest in other sectors of the economy as well. Permit me now to welcome Pastor Osilama, Osilama. Welcome to the program, sir.
Yes, good day, viewers and listeners across the globe. I just want to thank you for this opportunity to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So let's quickly begin by, I have your the program of your birthday celebration here. Seeing it very glossy, very beautiful. I believe this is your family.
Yes.
Tell us, how was the celebration?
Well, it was wonderful, fantastic.
Great.
It went beyond description.
Wonderful. Now, you are 50 years today. What are the lessons? Just 1-2 key lessons that you think you have come to learn.
There are so many lessons.
Yes.
In summary, I would say life is full of ups and downs, but the major thing is that just stay focused, keep your head up high, and remember the God factor in everything you do.
The God factor. The God factor. Interesting. I also know that you are very particular about relationship, building relationships.
Yes.
What really makes you concerned so much about building relationships?
Well, it's just a personal experience. I've discovered that your relationship with people is actually what you are worth on that. So it's your ability to maintain relationship with people that will determine the quality of your status. I don't want to tie it to money, but in every aspect of life, if you are a millionaire now, for instance, you are a millionaire in Tanzania, your changes from a millionaire to a billionaire is just a conversation away. So it's on relationship. So if they mention your name somewhere, and it's somebody that knows you, that will make reference.
Yes, sir.
So everything is built on referral. Even if you are skillful, if there are no referral, you will not go far. For instance, I'll give you a typical example. Engineer Sule, the executive governor of Nasarawa State.
Yes.
Today, he used to be one of the directors in Dangote Cement. And today, he's a governor. What happened? Relationship. So Dangote has a relationship with the former governor, and he spoke to his friend. And this guy who is an indigene was given an opportunity, a platform to run. You understand? Everything about life is a relationship.
It's about relationship.
If I want to talk about relationship, it will take time.
Yes. Yes. I know that is your specialty. That's why I wanted to start from there. Now, what is the key problem that you've discovered in the Nigerian context in terms of relationship? Do you think Nigerians are building enough capital in terms of having relationships, maintaining their relationships in the long term? And if not, why are they not doing that?
I think we won't say Nigerians. When you say Nigeria, you are just tying it to this region. Just say the black man. The black man, because it's a global thing. The black man has this mindset of now. So they just want
instant gratification.
Exactly. And that's not how relationship is built. It's a long-term thing, so you have to look beyond what you see today. And when people, for instance, Tinubu won the ticket for APC right now in Nigeria, the presidential primaries.
Yes.
And what you can hear from most people, everybody is saying, no, Tinubu is too old. What you are hearing from people who are close to him, they are saying that he did this for me, he did this for me. You even see some miscreants saying Tinubu, when I was in detention, somebody like, sorry, it's not a miscreant, but just to mention name, Asari Dokubo.
Yeah.
So when I was detained by the federal government, he gave my family a house, he was giving my wife money every month, he did this, he did that, he did that. That's relationship. So he has built relationship with that family. I heard El-Rufai saying to somebody that Amechi is a man that keeps his word. That the federal government, they invited me through DSS when I was facing my travel, and Amechi, I called him as a friend that look at what I'm going through. He said, hold on, I'm coming to Abuja. I came to Abuja, he said, I'll follow you there. And when my wife was G3, Amechi told my wife that, don't worry, I will not live there. I will use my immunity to cover him, and I will not live there until they release him. Amechi followed me to DSS office, stayed with me till evening, until they granted me bail. He did not move. Says a man of his word, I can trust him. Relationship. That happened so many years ago. We didn't even know about that. But when we are talking about primaries now, that guy came out, El-Rufai came out to say that. So that sends a message. It means if he has his way, he would prefer to give it to Amechi because he can go to sleep with his two eyes closed. If it's Amechi, you understand?
That is true.
That's
true.
It is.
Now let's come now to your area of expertise, real estate. Can you just tell us in short words, what is real estate?
It's broad, but real estate is just the ability to take advantage of natural wealth, natural resources, majorly land and anything that is above the land or beneath the land. Take advantage of it, invest in it, use it as an investment, you leverage on it to make money.
Now, you are a man of so many parts, and here in the studio we have so much books that have been written by you, published, and I want us to start with this very one. You talked about your guide to real estate investment. Your guide to real estate investment by Osilama Emmanuel Osilama. What is this book all about?
This book is to help newcomers, people who have never done anything about estate before, and also people that are not professionals. There are people who have been delving into real estate. You know, there are some people who have money. You hear somebody say, I'm experienced, I've been building houses. It doesn't make you a real estate professional. What it means is that you have an idea. But so this book will bring you to the level, start you from the scratch, just brush you up and make you consolidated in the sector. In
the real estate sector.
Yes. So you will know how to invest, you know when to invest, you know when not to invest, and you know basic terminologies. That's just what it is.
In real estate.
Yes.
Now, how has relationship helped you in building this business? Wow.
Relationship has helped me in building my entire life in so many ways. We are not perfect anyway, but when you have good relationship with people, it makes it easy for you to be able to, you know, get what you want. So most doors are easily open. You know, the major problem we have, referring to your first question, you know, in trying to lay foundation, I did not actually talk about trust. So the major factor that's
in relationship building
is trust. Your people that are around you should be able to trust you. So they can trust you with some basic things. You know, there's a big difference between trust and love.
Yeah.
When you are trusted, you'll be loved naturally. But if you are loved, you may not be trusted. You understand? So somebody can love you and doesn't trust you.
Wow.
Yes, you can have a child now, you love, it's your son, I love this boy. But when they tell you, he just stole something,
you are not too sure.
You cannot say no.
You cannot defend him.
You cannot defend him. But when you trust somebody, you naturally love the person. So
now we understand that your business has evolved is in different parts of this country, you know, so that we understand the magnitude of what you are telling us, what you are trying to teach us, what you are trying to teach our audience. You're talking about trust. Which states are your business located?
In Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Presently, we are in Nasarawa.
Okay.
We are in the FCT. We are in Benin. We are in Edo State, and we are in Lagos.
That's about 5 states.
Ongu.
6 states now.
Yeah.
And you have estates.
But the Ogun is like you're in Lagos, but because it's extended Ogun and Lagos State, they have a common boundary. So we don't have an office in Ogun.
Okay, but you operate from Lagos office?
Yes, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We have 2 offices in Lagos, so you see they are covering.
They are covering both area, both axes.
Yes.
So, how has it been running this business, managing employees? You know, when you talk about trust, employee trust is a factor that determines how far a business can also go. What has been your experience?
The main thing is that you have to learn to trust people.
Okay.
It is one thing to say people cannot be trusted, but if you don't learn to trust people, because when you are into the kind of business that I do, or the template that I operate, because there are some real estate firms that don't need to do what I do, and yet they may be even making more money than me. So it's just a template I'm using. Now, if you are using my kind of template, you need to understand that if you don't delegate, you'll be dissipating energy. Too much energy, it can't be everywhere at the same time. You understand? You cannot be in Benin and you're in Lagos at the same time. Like 3 days I'll be struggling. I'm supposed to go back to Lagos. I just came back. I'm supposed to go back, but I can't go back. You understand? Because I need to finish some things here. And so you can't be everywhere. So you need to learn to trust people, and you have to delegate them. It's not only trust of that they won't steal your money, even trust that they will deliver. These are different kind of trust.
Yes.
You need to trust them with responsibilities and allow them to fail. Then you call them and correct them, so they learn on the job. And so that's how we are doing it.
Wonderful.
But we have different cadres of officers. So I have the one like general manager operation, who is in charge of all the operations. And so me, I'm just sitting on top. I have general manager sales, who is in charge of all the sales. So I'm just on top supervising. I allow them to work. So if there are errors, I correct. So my traveling is just going to see for myself. And then at times I need to take some critical decisions. I need to be involved in document signing and all that. So it is possible.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, so can we bring that also to, this your book talked about how, to guide people that wants to even go into the real estate business. So for upcoming entrepreneurs, what are the templates? You talk about using templates in your own business. What templates can you recommend to upcoming entrepreneurs going into the real estate business?
When you talk about the real estate business, like I said, it's broad. There are so many things that will determine the template to use. If, for instance, you have capital, because the industry itself is capital intensive.
Yes.
If you have capital, the template will be different. But if you don't have capital, the template too will be different. Yes. So the template I will advise them to use is if they are maybe just young graduates that don't, the template to use, the best template is to go to people who have already, succeeded and try to attach themselves. You know, at times it's not all mentors that you write to and get familiar with and maybe fraternize with and start interacting with. You cannot actually observe from far. I have so many mentors that I'm observing from far. I don't really need to meet them one-on-one. I just observe what they do, and I borrow what I think is necessary, because some of the characters may not be useful. So I leave that aside. The ones I think are useful to me, I borrow that and I run with that. So they can do the same thing. Then they can also go close to some people, approach them and tell them, I want you to mentor me. Ask relevant questions.
So these are processes that they can adopt.
Yes.
Now let's look at what can be the possible challenges for someone like you in the real estate business, or for someone that is just coming a new entrant in the business. What are the potential roadblocks, barriers in the real estate industry?
There are many, but the major few ones that are very important is capital. Access to capital, access to raw material, which is land. You want to develop a property, or you have an idea, you want to build a business, maybe a shopping mall, you will need a land. Yes. If you are in somewhere like Abuja, it's very expensive. You have 5,000 square meters, like the one I saw in Lagos Island, 5.6 billion. Wow. Just 5,000 square meters by beachfront, something like that. That's capital intensive. So for a young estate developer, where will you start from? Billions. Where will you get billions from to start? So these are some of the challenges: access to capital, access to land, and sometimes too experience. Then ability to do proper due diligence. If you take that aspect of due diligence for granted, you can burn your hands. And the only way to do it very well is to engage professionals like lawyers or estate surveyors. There are some estate surveyors that are used to searching, but ideally you're supposed to use a lawyer. So if you use a lawyer to verify the document, because the title to land, make sure the land you want to use is secured, has title documents, verifiable title documents, because you can see title documents that are not genuine, and if you don't verify them, you won't know. So verify them and you confirm that they are genuine and they are not double allocation. I have a property I just encountered, not in Abuja, somewhere, very expensive, about 9 billion. Now there are 2 different title documents to that property. So the person on ground working is not the rightful owner of the property, but he has documents, and these documents are recognized by government because he has government consent. Why the original owner has his own document?
Wow.
And somebody is on ground working.
that also speaks to a lot of the issues that have cropped up in the real estate business with regards to people attributing the real estate business as the place conduit pipe for corruption, for money laundering.
That's a different thing entirely.
Yes. So what is the problem here?
Well, because it's not regulated like that in Nigeria and all over the world. It's real estate sector is a very, very critical sector. So the regulation is not the same thing with every other sector. So it creates room for that window. Now, what most of those smart people do, they are not real estate. How do I put them now?
Professionals.
Let me not use professionals. People who are in the business to stay. They just take advantage of
the loopholes
and do 1 or 2 things. Now, what they do is that they push money that cannot be accounted for into real estate. That's what it means when they say money laundering.
Yes.
That means money that they could have kept somewhere and government will discover, maybe in their account, or they just push it into real estate, maybe buy more houses and all that, and maybe the records are kept very far. That's what it means. And so that the reason for that is because the people who are stealing are corrupt already.
Yes.
It's the corrupt system that is affecting the sector, that is affecting the industry. It's not the industry itself that is corrupt. So people who are like drug barons, people who are into fraudulent activities like Yahoo and all that, they are the people who are now pushing their money into the sector, you understand? And hiding their money inside the sector. Not the people who are the people participating in the sector. The practitioners, they are not the ones. You understand that? Yeah. Because if you are into this trade, you want to secure the trade. So it's somebody who is not in the trade that will want to take advantage of the loopholes in the trade. Yes. Just to protect his money, so that government will not see his money. Either they don't want to pay tax. What is happening in other advanced climes is because they don't want to pay tax. You understand? They are running away, shying away from paying tax. But in Nigeria, maybe trying to hide the money, illicit money, ill-gotten money. Yes, that's what it is.
Now, thank you very much so far. Now, let's. You are the author of this book, Business Success. Explore the Power of Starting Small, by Osilama, Emmanuel Osilama. What prompted you to write this book?
Having been in the business world for some time, and growing up with a dad, my dad was also in business. One of the major things I discovered after growing up in the business is that a lot of people have business ideas, but these ideas, by the time you hear how they want to start, you know that they won't even start for life. So most people may have died with their business ideas because they are looking at huge capital, startup capital, huge. They are looking at maybe 2 billion, 5 billion. And so in this book, I'm trying to say that you can start from where you are with what you have. If you sell your phone, if you have a mobile phone, an Android phone that is worth like 150,000, 200,000, 300,000, iPhone, you can sell your phone if you have a business idea and run your idea, fund your idea. Then when you start making money, you can buy a bigger phone. Because I actually started my business with little or no money. Wow. So we will not want to mention that in the public right now. Little or no money. So anybody, you can start your business with as little capital as you can get without borrowing from anybody.
Now, in addition to funding, which is the money aspect now, what else do you think, you will recommend for a young man, a young woman that wants to start up a business should have? What other, factors are necessary for that person to be able to start up that business?
There are a lot of factors. Apart from money, another major factor is that you should have what you want to do. You should have an idea of what you want to do. So if you have narrowed down to an idea, written down, there should be a clear plan, a written plan. This is what I want to do. Then you have to go and learn basic things about that business. You cannot dabble into a particular trade that you're not familiar with. If you do that, you can fail woefully and lose everything. So you need to know about that business. For instance, you want to go into pure water, you have to understand. You have to study pure water business from the stage of manufacturing to distribution. If you want to go into bakery, you have to understand that the stage of manufacturing to distribution and how do you capture the market. And you need to also understudy competitors, people who are already existing before you are coming on board. And what are those things you have seen as a weakness? So you can correct, you can leverage on any of them. It's not all problems you can solve.
Yes.
But if you are able to solve a major problem that you have noticed from a particular bread or pure water factory that is in the market, once you correct it, and a lot of people will be complaining just like you are seeing it, you will take over the market. Interesting.
So, no matter what you have as an entrepreneur coming into business, starting up a business, you also need some level of support structure. To be able to, contribute to whatever you have to be able to start up that business. Do you think we have enough support structure for the upcoming generation to support their ideas in starting up a business?
You mean as a country?
As a country.
I don't think so. When we talk about creating an enabling environment, that's what we mean. We don't have the basic requirement that we even, inspire young people to want to go into business. We don't have it. We don't have constant electricity. So, and people are going through school, they are graduates, they have ideas, they don't have light to, develop these ideas, invent what they have in mind. So we need that kind of enabling environment where there's constant light. Even if it's not 24 hours, something close to 24 hours, where there are infrastructures, where there are good roads, where there are decent houses, where people can think, you can settle down to think very well. We don't have that kind of environment. We don't even have access to education. To go to school now, it costs a lot of money.
As on strike.
That's what we are saying. It costs a lot of money to go to school, private school. It costs a lot of money, so a lot of people won't be able to go to school. These are some of the factors that will affect them. So tomorrow, the mind is not prepared. The mind is not processed enough. So the ideas that God has deposited inside an individual, because he didn't go to school, he can't express them. He can even struggle to express them, but he will not be able to express them maximally. So he will get stuck at a point. So people will not understand. People may be laughing at him. They cannot communicate. Who told you he didn't want to go to school so that I can communicate? He didn't have the privilege. But today you'll be mocking him that I cannot communicate. So that's where we are. Government need to create an enabling environment. If possible, create agencies. I know there are agencies like SME, all those. They are not doing enough because the population is huge. So we need other agencies that can help this middle and other to function well and deliver on their objectives. You understand? Government need to do a lot.
Now, talking about government, what is your recommendation? We are in the political era. We are moving into the political dispensation. What is your advice to Nigerians?
What do you mean by that? Can you be a little bit specific?
Yes,
I don't know what to say.
Yes, because we are now in a situation where, from your words, sir, we don't have enabling environment. How do we get an enabling environment, leveraging this political dispensation?
It's by using your PVC to elect the right candidate. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, sir. So what are the qualities you are looking for in the candidate that can solve this problem? I'm not going to put you on the spot to mention any name.
I'm sure every Nigerian knows. That's why I'm laughing. Why do you want me to say?
Because you are the
Every
CEO,
Nigerian
sir.
know.
You are the CEO, and this is CEO's program.
Okay.
Yes.
The truth is simple. With what we have seen so far, our destinies as Nigerians have been mortgaged from the foundation of this country, from independence. So nothing has worked. Electricity, for instance, has never worked in Nigeria. But we are giving electricity to other countries, neighboring countries, and they have 24 hours light. So it is time for us to wake up and take it back. Take this power back. So these people have been outsmarting us. And what they did is that they wired our mind to think the way we do. That's why you see somebody say, if you say in public, this is who I want to vote for, because this person is not corrupt, this person will do this person will put some basic infrastructure on ground, somebody else is coming, a young man like you, and he's attacking you, that you are stupid, you are foolish, you don't understand anything. Why? Because he has been wired to be like that. He's programmed to be like that. It's not his fault. So we need to unlearn a lot of things. Some of the things they have taught us, they are lies. We need to reprogram most of our minds and begin to think like people who are progressives, who want to grow. Most Nigerian youths are not ready to grow. So it is time for them to take their destiny in their hands and choose a candidate that will consider them in his plan and build a future that is realistic. Not somebody that will tell you, I'm going to change $1, 600 naira, $1 to 1 naira. It will give you 24 hours electricity. I will create 1 million jobs every day. But you know that it's not going to create any job. It's only going to build a dynasty
for himself,
where his son will become the next governor, his other son will become the House of Rep and Senate. That's all. So it is time for us to choose what is right. Don't tell me that. I will tell you that me, I'm not a politician. I'm not a card carrying member of any party, but I'm going to vote for Obi.
Wonderful.
Quote me without reservation.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so let's, the conversation is beginning to be very interesting. Yeah. Very quickly, as we begin to wrap up the conversation, we still have more 2 books. This one is saying you too can prosper. What do you mean when you say you too can prosper?
I'm saying that no matter who you are, the potential for prosperity is inside you already. It's deposited inside you. You need to look for it within yourself.
Wake it up.
Yes, provoke it within yourself. That means no matter who you are, whether you are educated or not, whether you are a PhD holder, whether you are old. I've seen a professor, one of my friends, Ihan Ichuku Nanji. He did 21 years in the University of New York as a professor of economics. He came back, was living in one hut in Lugbe. One room hut. He married. That's when he was getting married. He married at 61. He has never married in his life. So it has nothing to do with where you are coming from, who you are. It has everything to do that with what is deposited inside you now. Whether you have gone to school or not, forget qualification, forget certificate. No matter who you are,
you too can prosper.
You can prosper if you are ready. If you are ready, and if you are ready to go through the principles that are inside the book,
contained here,
nothing can stop you.
Wonderful.
That's what it is.
Very quickly, power to prevail over poverty.
Yes.
What are you speaking here? What are you talking about here?
I'm trying to say that poverty is a power that dominates people, subject you to a realm where your mind is shut down, blackened completely. You don't know anything, and you just accept life like that. So there's a greater power that can pull you out of it.
So poverty is a spirit.
It's a spirit. You need to access that power.
Is that spirit dominating Nigeria?
A lot of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians. Not everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now, I want to make an assumption. Nigeria has been, like you said, Nigeria has never enjoyed 24-hour electricity. Looking at this book, I'm beginning to feel that as a country, is it possible that there is a spirit controlling this country?
We'll be going spiritual.
Yes, life is spiritual.
There's a spirit controlling every territory. So definitely there are spirits that interfere. They are interfering with the program of God for this country. And we need to stop them. This is the truth. You have to stop them. And you have to forcefully. Power is not given. Power is dragged.
It's taken.
It's taken. It's dragged. You forcefully take it. If you don't take it, it will never come to you. This is the truth.
And I try to use Nigeria as a beginning point, because you mentioned about a professor friend that came in from New York, and you pointed out that this man, after serving as a professor for 21 years, returned to Nigeria and got married at 61. Not even a very flamboyant wedding or a flamboyant house, but in a very
in a thatched house.
In a thatched house.
In a mud house.
I mean, what could be responsible for that, sir?
It's a mindset.
Mindset. Poverty mindset. So you can be a professor, a doctor, a graduate with a poverty mindset
and still be poor. Most times it's a result of upbringing. When you were programmed when you were growing up, they keep pumping you with wrong words. They are loaded with the wrong words. They tell you cannot amount to anything. You are going to be poor. You are useless. There's nothing about you. You are a failure. He stick with some of these children. So no matter where they go to in this world, as long as that thing is not taken from them, and they refuse to renew their mind by exposing themselves to books. For instance, I'm a product of books. So when people hear me speak, they think maybe yes, God is involved, inspiring me, but majorly I read a lot of books. I've read so many books. There's almost no book on my shelf, both in my house and in my office, that I have not read. So that's the reason. So when you expose yourself to so many books, your mind is renewed. You will see that there's almost nothing that's impossible. You can do anything. You can take advantage. You can leverage on anything and grow.
So these words, we are from the African continent, and there is something that they used to say about the African woman, the African mother. Because you talked about words that we tell to people. Is that also similar to the words that mothers, knowingly or unknowingly use on their children?
Parents. You are right. Parents. Not just mothers.
Parents.
What you say to your child matters a lot. What you say to them, especially when they are young, it matters a lot. It affects their life. They become timid and they are withdrawn. And people think maybe it's just, it's not usually peer influence. It could be as a result of both peer influence and environmental influence, but it's majorly what you say to them. It sticks with them and they keep playing in their mind as they grow up. So no matter who they are, something is telling them you won't amount to anything. That's what your father said, you will not amount to anything. And they remain like that until they overcome that.
So now, in a similar vein, can we also say that those of us that from time to time we use certain words when we are talking about Nigeria, when we are trying to express the way we feel about Nigeria, can we also say that certain words that we use are also a contributory factor to where we are as a people?
That's completely different.
Okay.
It's different because Nigeria is not a living thing. So it doesn't have a mind of its own. So it cannot conceive what you say and process it. But an individual is a living thing. When you speak to a person, the words you say, they enter the heart and they stay there. But as a country, except we want to look at it from the spiritual angle, that okay, because I'm a Christian or a Muslim, when I say these things, I'm speaking, wrong words to the country, so they can maybe affect the country. No, I don't think so. What I think is happening to Nigeria is very simple. It's bad leadership. When you get a good leader, what makes a good leader is not that the leader himself will be Alpha and Omega, knows everything about everything. No, a good leader is somebody who is able to appoint the right people to do his job. So if you have a good leader, he will put the round peg in round holes. Round peg in round hole. Not a banker. You make a banker a
doctor.
A banker. You make a banker the engineer, minister of works and housing. You make a lawyer, minister for health. You have finished the country now. What do they know? That's not their area. When you get a medical doctor, who has proven track record, put him in Ministry of Health. When you get an engineer who has a track record, put him in Works and Housing. That's how to do it. But even if you check from the independence to date, you find out that hardly will you find a professional given his rightful portfolio, because what they are considering is the food that is in that ministry. So if the food in the ministry is huge, it can be given to a certain tribe. So it must be withheld. As a result of that, they give it to the wrong people. And if they are going to give you, they will give you Minister for State. That means they gave you the right office, but they tied your both hands. You can't work, you can't function. Then at the end of the day, they accuse you of not being able to perform. You won't be able to perform if they don't allow you to perform. People need to be given opportunity. When you put a round peg in a round hole, you give him opportunity to express himself, and you will see amazing things.
Now, so how do we translate that, bringing this experience to our individual businesses? You know, we've learned about the spiritual aspect of the human mind. We've talked about, you know, the aspect of communicating the right words to the living things, the living beings, so that they will be able to process, you know, positive externalities, you know, to their future. How do we bring that about back into our business? You said the country, as it were, is not a living thing. So whatever we say might or might not, in the ordinary context,
affect it.
Yes. What about our businesses?
I have different view about business. I will shock you.
Okay.
And some businesses are living things. Why some are not living things? Now I'll tell you why some businesses are living things. Businesses that are tied to their spiritual root. If a Muslim, for instance, ties his business, I used to know a Muslim man in Usetu who tied his business to his faith. That business is a living thing, because the spirit of his faith is influencing the business. Because he gives out checks of maybe 50 million to some mosques every month, up to schools, Muslim schools across the country. As he's making money, once they pay him like this, the next thing he will distribute the money in draft. So it's not as if I was told. My wife was like his PA, so we were already married. So these are the things she used to tell me. He will distribute the money around a lot of people. So that's a living thing. But a business that is not giving, we were created to give. So the essence of business is to be able to build, create a platform, an enabling environment for other things to survive around. So business is to revolve. You understand? So most businesses are not living things. The ones that are living things, for instance, my business is a living thing. Why? Because my business is tied around my faith. So it's a living thing. I tell my staff most times that my business is a living entity. The business can do without me, because there's a seed of blessing in the business. I'm not talking spiritual.
If that will make our business to grow, please, let's hear it.
To your faith, do we know that the blessings of God, they are just privileges in your hands? You are just a channel. You don't own them. You're just a channel. So it is the crumbs from the business, from the blessings that are actually yours. So if you make a billionaire, for instance, by the time you reinvest your money, whatever you call your profit, a percentage of it must go
towards a faith direction.
Exactly. So it makes your business a living thing, becomes a living entity, because that's the essence of life. Because the church, for instance, I'm a Christian, so the church cannot survive on its own. You understand? For the church to survive, people who God are blessed are supposed to give back. That's what it is. People are supposed to give back to the church, and the church is not supposed to come to you and appeal to you and beg you. Now you are not going to steal government money to give. So we don't misunderstand the man of God that was accusing Obi yesterday, that Obi is stingy, and therefore people should not vote for him. That's not what I mean. I'm saying that your own private business. So if you are in a public office, you don't take government money and give to your church
or your mosque.
That's stealing. You take from your own money that is due to you, your allowance, your annual allowance or your monthly salary that is due to an allowances, and give to your church. Don't touch government money. So in business, you take from your profit. It can be as low as 2%. It depends on what you want to give. But biblically, we have to give like 10% of our profit.
You can give above.
You can give above if you like, but don't give less if you're a Christian.
Yeah. So, where do you see the future of real estate going into? Let's now come back to
real estate in Nigeria.
Yes.
Or in the world.
Let's start from Nigeria, then we can move to the world.
The future of real estate in Nigeria is going to be very interesting. Technology is going to play a major role. Right now, the little or nothing that's happening in that aspect. But I foresee a situation where technology will be doing a lot of things in the next few years. For instance, 3D machine will be coming to play in Nigeria. Lafarge is developing something abroad. I think they have tested it in England, they have tested somewhere in Europe. That 3D machine printing will be printing houses. So it'll be delivering like 1,000 houses in 1 week with 3D machine. A lot of things are going to be happening online through the internet. Both application and all that you'll be having smart homes where you can switch off your light. You are in Nigeria, you can switch off your light. You are in America, you travel for vacation and you forgot your light, can switch it off because of the security of the area. You switch the light on or off in the night, in the day, then in the night you switch it on. You can open your door from your phone. A lot of things are going to be happening in the future in Nigeria. So the future of real estate in Nigeria is going to be interesting. Wow. In fact, if CEOs and those who are active don't even upgrade, if they don't upgrade, they will naturally
go out of business.
Go out of business. So people need to brace up and make sure they are catching up with what is happening.
So what steps do you think CEOs should begin to apply to position themselves for the future?
Is to expose themselves to the right information by learning. If possible, attend short courses. Up to Harvard, there are courses everywhere. I just create time and attend short courses. It doesn't take time, it only takes money. Some of them are very expensive, but they are worth the money.
They are worth the money?
They are worth the money because it puts you on top.
Yeah.
And what you know, a lot of people won't know.
So let's talk about the regulatory environment. You know, we talked about the money laundering issues. We've talked about the future of technology in real estate. What about regulations? You know, before now, you mentioned that it's poorly regulated, and that also could be one of the reasons why the difficulties or the challenges that is being faced currently. What do you see in terms of regulation?
You know, I belong to one of our major stakeholders association, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. So currently, the association have developed a bill that was submitted to the National Assembly. That bill was in collaboration with International Financial Monetary Fund, under it's an arm of United Nations and World Bank,
yeah, IMF,
and EFCC. And National Financial Units, okay, also, yeah. NFIU. Yeah. So they put that document together, and that document was passed by the Senate. So it was supposed to be concurrently passed by the lower house, but they refused. They set up a committee, looked at it. There are some things they are trying to correct. They are not comfortable with. If not, I would have told you that before the end of this administration, real estate will be fully regulated in Nigeria. I can't say that right now.
Because of that.
But Radar went very far, so the hope for regulation is very strong. Because EFCC is involved, NFIU is involved, the World Bank is involved. A lot of international bodies are interested in the regulation of real estate in Nigeria because of the money laundering aspect of it. Yes.
Thank you very much. As we wrap up, what is your message to the CEOs? This is a CEO G Connect program. What is your message?
I would just say to the CEOs, my counsel for you is to make sure you learn to trust your staffs, trust them with responsibility, and learn to delegate. That's how to expand your business. Because if you can't trust people with responsibility, you may not be able to grow. That's why you see some big churches, very big individuals. They have only one branch. They can't trust people. That's the reason. That's the only reason they can't trust people. So learn to trust people, because you can't find perfect people. When you see their weaknesses, correct them, call them and correct them. It's only when you cannot take it again that you ask them to go away. So if you can learn to trust people, give them responsibility, you see your business expanding. Because when you have so many branches and network of businesses, the money may be coming in bits and pieces, but by the time you put it together, cumulatively, it becomes reasonable to do other things.
On that note, thank you very much, Sam, for joining us on the program. We hope to see you some other time again. And to the audience, we celebrate you. See you again.